Good afternoon, Burlington Elementary families. I'm creating this video to help share some information about some of the changes that are going to be implemented this year at Burlington Elementary School. I know there are a lot of questions and concerns as we get ready to start the school year, and I hope this video will provide some of that information that you're looking for. If you still have questions and concerns following this information, feel free to reach out with a phone call or an email, and we'll do our best to answer your questions. The guidelines that are being reviewed will be posted to our school webpage in the next few days. You can look there for a hard copy of that information. I'll be starting off with some general expectations. Masking will be required for all students unless you have an exception that is approved with a doctor's note. Visitors must also adhere to this guideline except those that are under the age of 5. By Executive Order 2059, a mask is defined as a covering of the nose and mouth that is secured to the head. It can be made of a variety of fabrics and ideally has 2 layers. If you are unable to provide a mask for your student, we will have some of those available for use. All parties entering the building will be subject to a temperature check. Teachers will be looking to develop some masking breaks in the day with some outdoor activities. An example of this might be a group read aloud that takes place outside. Before school, there will be some changes as well. This is the time period from 7:35 to 7:50. Our school day this year will be starting at 7:55. That is the official start time for the school day. Buses will now drop students off at the west doors. Other students will still be able to enter through the east doors, also known as Hug and Go, as well as the main doors at the south entrance by the office. Students will no longer report to the gym in that large group setting, but instead will report to their classrooms. They will be supervised by school staff during this time. If possible, please drop your child off as close to the start of the school day as possible. This will just limit concerns about contact with a variety of students. When you drop off in the morning, please be sure to remain available in the event that your child does not pass the temperature screener. You may want to walk them up to the door or stay in the parking lot and wait a few minutes. That's up to you. At the end of the day, we will also be making a few changes to our procedures here as well. Students will still exit the same doors that they have in the past. Here is where they exit. Bus riders will go out the west side. Preschool and kindergarten students will go out the office doors on the south side. First graders will go out the east side doors, also known as Hug and Go. Second graders will exit the south doors at the second grade hallway. And third and fourth graders will also go out the east side doors. We will be asking all adults to remain outside until students are dismissed rather than enter the building and wait inside of the building. We've had several questions about how food service might look this year. Let's talk about breakfast first. Our first breakfast will be served from when the doors open until 7:50. We will be operating 2 cafeteria-style spaces this year, our normal cafeteria, as well as a makeshift cafeteria in part of our gymnasium. Students will be assigned tables based on their teacher for first breakfast. Second breakfast, once it starts, will be delivered to the classrooms by food service staff or other school staff. And students will eat this breakfast in their classrooms or outside as directed by their teachers. Lunchroom will have some different guidelines as well. Students will wash their hands prior to entering the lunchroom. Their choice of milk will be handed to them by a supervising adult. After students scan their finger in the lunch line, they will sanitize their hands with sanitizer. Masks will remain on students until they are seated at their table. Classes will sit at teacher-assigned tables in one of the 2 designated lunch areas, the cafeteria or the gymnasium, and grades 1 through 4 will still be participating in their after lunchtime walk if students choose. This will be a time where masks are not required. Recess has also been an item of question. We will still be having recess for those kids this year. That's an important part of our day. Our staff will be working to schedule so that only 1 grade level at a time is out at a playground, and masks will not be required during this time. You might have heard some words called a cohort group, and that is something that we'll be working to develop. And you can kind of consider a cohort group like table mates. So teachers will be developing what we call cohort groups or table mates and working to keep these kids in these same groups as much as possible to help in the event that we would have to contact trace. That would help kids track what students they have been in close contact with. These cohort groups or table mates may be switched by the teacher every few weeks, but they won't be switching on a daily or weekly basis. We will be trying to carry those cohort groups across the building as much as possible. Another change is that the fourth grade students usually rotate between the classrooms, but this year, rather, the teachers will be rotating. It is also possible that we will implement a limited rotation schedule with the specials, and guidance instruction will occur in the teacher classrooms this year rather than the guidance classroom for a while. One change that is hard for us to share with you is that we will be limiting the visitors in our building this year. We want you all to be very involved as parents, but we are recommending that we restrict visitor access to our building this year. So we are going to be asking parents to limit entering the building for student drop-off, an occasional maybe eating lunch with your child, and end of the day pickup. We will be placing a table outside the office for parents to drop items off for their students in the event they forget something. What we would ask you to do is push the button on the doorbell to relay your message to one of the school staff, and then we will go out and pick up that item and get it to your child. Also, pickup from the nurse's office will take place on the east side this year. The nurse's office will be relocating following the completion of our construction project. Parents will contact the school when they are here, when they arrive to pick up their child, and an adult from the nurse's office will accompany the student to the east doors for exit and help document the sign out. Remote learning is another topic that we've been getting a lot of questions on, and what I can say is that's going to be a new experience for all of us. What we envision at this time is trying to replicate as much of the student's normal day that occurs at school at home as possible. This will allow for some breaks away from the technology device, such as the scheduled recess time, lunch break, potentially specials, and MTSS times. If this is the option that you are choosing for your student, please be patient with us as we learn and grow in this instructional area. And finally, our last question is about a COVID confirmation. In the event that there is a positive case at BES, we will be working closely with the Coffee County Health Department to complete contact tracing. Once their investigation is complete, USD 244 will share the information they are allowed regarding the case. It is our goal to help minimize school shutdowns and time away from school, so we will be taking as many steps as we can to keep your child's safety our priority. These guidelines are subject to change and may change frequently throughout the year as things are passed down to us. So again, we just ask that you be patient and flexible with us. We're looking forward to seeing your students and having a great year at BES. Thank you. Have a great day.